This is Certified Sommelier John Alanis, and welcome to another episode of Whole Bottle Reviews. And today, for all you Led Zeppelin fans out there, we are going to California. Going to California with an aching in our heart, and I have an ache for a California cab that is not jammy, that is not over-oaked, that is pure, that is elegant, that doesn't have 20 grams per liter of residual sugar in it, and that doesn't taste and look like cough syrup. We are going to Howell Mountain, and we're going to go with the king of Howell Mountain, Dunn Vineyards. If you're at all familiar with California cabs, Dunn Vineyards is going to be on your list, and we are going to drink the 2019 Dunn Vineyards. Let me give you a little bit of history about Dunn if you're not quite familiar with it. Started by Randy Dunn and his wife Lori in 1978, so right at the beginning of Napa. But the number one thing that I really like about the Dunn family is they want to make wines that are not high alcohol, that are more medium bodied, that are elegant, that are pure, that feature the California fruit. And so one thing that they do is that the Dunn Vineyard is located at 2,100 feet above sea level. So what does that mean to everyone that's not, like a wine geek out there? What it means is that at that elevation, it gets much cooler at night, so it preserves the acidity in the wine, which gives it freshness and which gives it longevity. Sometimes the grapes won't ripen quite as much, but up there on a Howell Mountain, it's going to be gravel, so it's going to be able to radiate the heat back into grapes, so you get that wonderful combination of fully ripe grapes and high acidity. And the best thing about it is, because they don't let them stay around too long, on the vines, is you don't get high alcohol wines. And so this one right here is 13.9% alcohol by volume. Now, one thing I'll tell you about the labeling is oftentimes you can't trust it, although I do trust what comes out of Dunn. In California, actually, there's a 1.5 points variance in what you put on the label, because anything, I believe, over 15.5%, something like that, is taxed at each half a point. And so the out from that is that what you put on the label, you can have 1.5 points variance. However, this Dunn Howell Mountain comes in at 13.9%, so it's not 15.5% or even 16% like some of these are going to get. This is going to be a beautiful wine, and it's really going to feature the fruit without just busting your palate out with a kind of a cough syrup feel like some wines in California do. I heard an advanced sommelier describe California wines in 3 words: oaky, jammy, full-bodied, too much alcohol. Now, there's a lot of them like that too, but there's also a lot that are just wonderfully pure, wonderfully elegant, can age for a long time, and as you go through the bottle, they just evolve and open up, and they can be quite magical. Now, I'll tell you something very interesting that I like about California wines. To me, you can have a lot of debate about how long you want to age some of these wines. To me, 5 to 7 years is kind of the sweet spot, because in California, it features the fruit. You don't get much earth or tertiary flavors or anything like that like you do in the French wines of Bordeaux. It features the fruit. Now, you want some time for some of the tannins to calm down. You want some time for the wine to begin to integrate seamlessly. But with California, I like about 5 to 7 years. Now, prior to the last several vintages, Dunn Howell Mountain has been known as a wine that needs a lot of time. Has fiery tannins, not approachable in its youth. However, in the last few years, that has actually begun to change. And so that's why I'm going to go with the 2019 vintage. I have talked to wine people that I trust. They've had it, and they say it is out of this world good. However, the proof is in the pudding. So we're going to open this up. I'm going to give you a sip and swallow review, because I don't do taste and spit on here. Tell you what I think initially, that I'm going to enjoy this thing with a wonderful prime T-bone steak. And when I'm feeling well again, maybe tomorrow, because this is a lower alcohol wine, I will give you my whole bottle review, let you know if it took me places, if it brought me an emotional experience, if it brought up memories, if it took me to a different place. I can tell you what's going to be in this wine before I open it. There's going to be a lot of blackberries in there. It's going to be a high tannin. There's going to be black fruits, black plum, cassis, probably graphite, all the stuff that you read about in any taste and spit review. But we don't care about that stuff, because we know it's going to be in there. What we care about is, does this take us to a different place? Does this give us a magical experience? So I'm going to open it up here. I'm going to take a sip. I'm actually going to decant this for a while. I always love to decant my fuller bodied California wines, even though this might be more of a medium bodied one, because I like it to open up a little bit before I start drinking it. So I may give this an hour or so decant, but I'll taste it along the way to see where it is. Probably going to drink this wine over about 4 hours or so. So we shall see if it takes me on a journey or not. And if you're not familiar with the price on Dunn Howell Mountain, I think it is fairly priced, about $220 or so a bottle, give or take. But it is always just a knockout wine. And if I happen to like this, even if it may be a little bit young by some purists, I will go back down to the store and buy some more. That's one of the great things about Dunn too, is, well, they don't produce 600,000 cases of wine a year. They produce enough and price it right. So if you want some more, you can get some more. All right, we've opened it up without a pop. So let's pour us a little bit. Ooh, that's a nice, dark, inky purple color. I love sight of wine in the glass. You can tell a lot of neat stuff by the sight, but that's just a beautiful looking wine there. Probably right like I like to see with the California. Not a lot of oxidation or anything like that. So let's start talking about wine terms. See what it says in the glass. Just a lot of wonderful blackberries on the nose. I mean, I love blackberries, but it's, I would call it a fresh fruit character. Not even ripe or overripe, just nice, fresh, elegant. I just love what that mountain fruit and that elevation does. I guess I have to swallow the wine so I can talk to you about the wine, but I could have left that in my mouth for 5 more minutes. It's a I would say medium plus-ish bodied wine. It just floats in your mouth. I just love a mouthfeel like that. It's not like coating everything and staining everything and jamming it up. It's just wonderfully floating in your mouth. Beautiful black fruits coming out. Definitely not over-oaked at all. When people say over-oaked, what they mean is you can smell it and there's just too much vanilla. It's like somebody took your wine and dumped a bunch of imitation vanilla in it. You don't want it over-oaked. You want the blackberries and the oak, but you get vanilla, baking spices, that type of stuff to just kind of seamlessly be integrated and just kind of, change from one to the other. I mean, I always hate to make predictions about whether a bottle will be magical or not, even though this is my site to do that, because oftentimes you start out and you're so wrong, but gosh, this one has so much potential too. I mean, it's such a wonderfully elegant wine. I'm already getting some chocolate on there. And when I can take a taste of wine and hold it in my mouth and just not want to swallow it, that's usually an indication that this is going to be an absolutely fantastic bottle. So I'm going to go ahead and decant this, for about an hour or so. I'm going to slowly drink it, and when I feel 100% again, because this is 13.9% alcohol, I don't think I'm going to have much of a hangover tomorrow, which pleases me greatly, but we shall see. But when I'm feeling 100% again, I'm going to tell you about my experience with this wine, if it took me places, if it quells the aching in my heart for going to California. So I'll see you soon.